We've seen the Fed, surprise, surprise, not hike rates today. Incredible. The 1% got it wrong, the 99% got it right. The Fed is doing what they say. Unbelievable. We are going to get into that very shortly. Really quickly, I'm in a little bit of pain, so it's going to be a real quick episode, ladies and gentlemen. Please bear with me. We are at block height 808,644 local time, 10:40 a.m. Only 5 hours late today. Next halving 31,356 blocks sets per dollar. This is unfortunate. Only 3,686. I like to be able to get as many sats per dollar as possible, but the price is looking strong. 27,128. It did drop below 27,000 on news, down to 26,900 really quickly, and then it whipped back up. The reason that it dropped down so much is due to some of the remarks that Jerome Powell made there, saying that there's potentially another rate hike. They are looking at keeping rates higher for longer, and people are starting to believe what Jerome Powell and the Fed have to say, which is quite interesting. Surprising. I wouldn't trust them at all, but they are being consistent with their messaging. So we'll get into that. If we have a look at the crypto heat map, a whole lot of shit's pumping today. Bitcoin pretty much sideways in the last 24 hours. Now, this is in regards to the Fed. What's going on here? We'll race through this real quick. Bitcoin tumbles to 26.9. Obviously, it's above that, above the 27,000, holding strong actually. But on the hawkish remarks by the Fed Reserve's Powell, Wednesday pause in rate hikes has been overwhelmingly expected by market participants, by Fed members, who now see much higher interest rates for next year than previously projected. The US Federal Reserve held monetary policy steady, leaving the range for its benchmark interest rate 5.25% to 5.5%. Fed officials also projected keeping interest rates higher for next year at around 5.1% compared to expectations of 4.3%. And that's why we saw a bit of this dip here. Because it's so far out, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't really worry about it. They're so willing to change on a dime. They've been consistent lately, but during COVID, they said they'd keep rates lower for longer, and then they went on the biggest rate hike in history. So I'd take that with a grain of salt with what they're doing there, but we will keep you up to date as this progresses. We can jump into the CME Fed Watch and what we expect for the next meeting. They also see stronger economic growth for this year, expecting a 2.1% real GDP increase versus a 1% forecast for June. Now, I believe this is the Fed statement, I think, Papa Powell. In determining the extent of additional policy firming that may be appropriate to return inflation to 2% over time, the committee will take into account the cumulative tightening of monetary policy, the lags which monetary policy affects economic activity and inflation and economic and financial developments, the Fed statement reads there. Jerome Powell said in a press conference that the central bank will do more rate hikes if the economy remains stronger than expected. How crazy. They're literally raising rates to crash the economy, to have more people unemployed. Isn't that insanity? That is the insanity of the fiat world, the fiat mindset that we live in. And this is why we jump on here and we study Bitcoin. We look into Bitcoin. We read the books because we're not going to eat the bugs. There is no way. If you're here now, you don't need to eat the bugs. You're early. It's all good. Anyway, that's why we continue to study, we read, and we find out as much as we can. And then what do we need to do? We just stack and chill. Powell also said the majority of Fed members believe one more rate hike is more likely than not appropriate. To reach the Fed's goal during the remaining two Fed Open Market Committee FOMC meetings, he also acknowledged that the recent trend in inflation is going in the right direction, saying the last 3 months readings were very, very good. It is going down, which is very, very good. The big news is the 2024 rates projection, which is higher than I expected. This is a very big signal. So this from Noel, crypto and macro analyst. It's the message sent by effectively taking two rate cuts off the table, which also suggests that any rate cuts will come later than the market had been hoping. Unfortunately, she added that Higher rates, a stronger dollar, and stock market drops are not good for Bitcoin, but acknowledge that crypto markets took the news relatively well, which suggests there might be some buying support at current levels. The Fed, just really quickly, I don't know how long I can stay on here. My back's excruciating. I put out a video yesterday with Michael Dunworth, who is literally sending Bitcoin into the future, like 120 years into the future, like to the year 2140, which is absolutely insane. Simply Tai Chi, good morning. Are you in a Wu Wei flow state today? I'd be interested to know. Tai Chi and Yin Qi Gong, g'day mate. Anyway, I would definitely urge everyone to watch that video. He's published the private keys, but it goes so deep down into the Bitcoin rabbit hole. Jump on there, you're going to get real big value. I just want to keep you updated with what the Fed is doing here. And the Fed embraced the idea of a soft landing. They see stronger growth and lower unemployment and still expect to get back to their inflation target. The last soft landing was in the mid-1990s, in the 90s, let's say it that way. And this proved to be a terrific outcome for technology-related assets. While we can't be sure there will be a soft landing, that scenario could be positive for Bitcoin. Their goal is to have the soft landing. That's what they say they're trying to achieve. Can they do it? I don't know. Maybe, potentially. I dare say the money printer is going to start up next year. That coupled with the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF and the Bitcoin halving, it's going to be a very interesting time if they manage a soft landing. We'll see. Next Fed meeting, which is like 44 days away, 45 days away, I think. 41 days and 17 hours. There you go. 71% they keep it where it is, 28% they hike it. We'll continue to monitor it so far out now. This is definitely likely to change. I reckon over the coming 2 weeks, we're going to see this here move up to closer to 80%. Now over to FTX. It's pretty, oh, sorry, I wasn't showing you that 71%, 28% that we get a hike in the, come on, here we go. 41 days. This is going to increase. Anyway, little quick update with FTX. And this is pretty interesting. FTX sued Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried, Sam Bankman-Fried's SBF's parents for misappropriating millions, including 5 mil in donations to Stanford University. It's just a bloody comedy show. We are living in clown world, ladies and gentlemen. And I think you'd find this quite fascinating. That's why I brought it up. Mr. Bankman, Ms. Fried, professors at Stanford Law School, on Monday, the FTX group sued them for misappropriating millions, including 5.5 mil in donations to Stanford. We have been in discussions with attorney for the FTX debtors to recover these gifts and will be returning the funds in their entirety. A Stanford University spokesperson said, according to Bloomberg, Stanford receives gifts from the FTX Foundation, FTX-related companies, largely for pandemic-related prevention and research. The parents have denied all the allegations, calling them completely false. Their son, Sam Bankman-Fried, founder and former CEO of the bankrupt FTX cryptocurrency exchange, is preparing for a trial next month from behind bars. This is a dangerous attempt to intimidate Joe and Barbara and undermine the jury process just days before their child's trial begins. Pretty interesting. The parents, I don't believe they deserve to go to jail. Obviously, Sam Bankman-Fried is where he belongs currently at the minute. I just want to bring up this video here and show you. This is the Michael Dunworth video. Definitely well worth your time watching. You know, he found a $1.5 billion exchange. He has a thing or two to be able to teach and share. Goes quite deep, asks some very personal questions right at the start. You can see he's a little bit uncomfortable, but he is just a champ, jumps in there, answers them, so open, so honest with it all. That's today's news. I'll keep you up to date every day with the fast facts, Monday through to Friday, Australian time, Wednesday. Those interviews come out. Tomorrow we'll get a quick video out, but we do have a couple of interviews back to back, and they'll be coming out over the next coming weeks. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Thanks for bearing with me, and sorry I wasn't in high spirits today. Be blessed. Peace. Thanks, heaps.